Now, let's talk about rocks and minerals. The earth that we live in, it is made up of rocks and minerals. The surface, the crust of the earth is made up of different kind of rocks, and these rocks are transformed from one form or one type to another gradually. Now, the earth's crust is made up of various types of rocks and natural mass of mineral matter. Any natural mass of mineral matter that makes up the earth's crust is called a rock. So what is a rock? Rock is a mass, a piece of minerals compressed together, which is found on the surface of the earth. Rocks are of different colors, shapes, sizes, textures. Some are very smooth, some are very beautiful in color, some are just very rough, etc. Now, there are three major types of rocks on our planet, namely igneous rocks, sedimentary rocks and metamorphic rocks. Igneous rock, the word is derived from a Latin word ignis, which means fire. Sedimentary rocks comes from the word sedimentum, means settling down, and metamorphic word comes from change of formation. So, we will see how are these three different types of rocks formed and where they can be found on our planet. Now, let's begin. Now, igneous rocks. The word igneous comes from fire. When the molten magma, when a volcano erupts, magma comes out, and when that molten magma cools down, it becomes solid. Once it solidifies, it takes the form of rocks, and these type of rocks which are formed by solidification or cooling of magma are known as igneous rocks. The composition of these rocks is highly chemical in nature, and there are a lot of minerals present in these rocks. They are also known as primary rocks, and further they are divided into two subcategories: intrusive rocks and extrusive rocks. Intrusive igneous rocks are the rocks which are formed within the surface of the earth due to molten magma that cools down gradually, whereas the extrusive igneous rocks are the rocks which are made outside the surface of the earth once the magma and the volcanoes explode and the magma starts to cool down. These kind of rocks have rough texture and they are in form of large grains. Solid rocks are formed and they have large varieties of shapes. For example, granite, diorite, gabbro and peridotite. Now, as we were talking about extrusive igneous rocks, the lava, which is actually fiery, red molten, and magma that comes out from the interior of the earth on the surface. Once it arrives on the surface, it starts to cool down because of climatic conditions or natural factors. This becomes solid, and the rocks which are then made by solidification of magma on the surface of the earth are extrusive rocks. These are also fine grained in nature, and the biggest example of such rocks are rhyolite, camotite, basalt, etc. Deccan Plateau in India is full and plentiful of basalt rocks. Now, what are the features of intrusive igneous rocks? They are compact, very hard and strong in nature. Since they are made under the surface of the earth, they are compact, and because of the lot of pressure. They are used for building materials. Grinding stones made of granite are used to prepare paste, powder of spices, and gabbro is used for sculpture. Whereas extrusive rocks, they often are very finger grained structure. They do not allow water to percolate or pass through them, and regions of these rocks may contain groundwater resources. Now, let's talk about second types of rocks, which are sedimentary rocks. Sedimentation refers to the process of settling down. Therefore, these are the rocks which are formed by settling down of minerals and substances. As rocks roll down, cracks hit each other and they get broken down into small fragments. These smaller particles are called as sediments. Slowly and gradually these sediments are transported and deposited by wind and water. These loose sediments get compressed and hardened to form a good layer of rock over a period of time, and these rocks are called as sedimentary rocks. For example, sandstone. Sandstone is made from grains of sand. When the grains, fine grains of sand, they comprise or get compressed together due to air pressure or the pressure of the surface, they form sandstone. These rocks may also contain fossil of plants, animals and other microorganisms. Now, what are the features of sedimentary rocks? They are also known as secondary rocks because they are formed by already broken down rocks which existed on the surface of the earth, and they are accumulation of two other types of rocks. Each layer of sedimentary belongs to a particular period of time, whereas underlain layers are older and overlain layers are younger. For example, if we have a sedimentary rock and it is divided into layers, this may be older and this may be new. Now, about 75% of Earth's surface is made up of sedimentary rocks, and these sedimentary rocks also result in shaping of different landforms. Here is an example of sedimentary rocks. You can see different layers of rocky material which is being sedimented or settled down over a period of long years. Next, we are going to talk about metamorphic rocks. The word metamorphic comes from a Greek word which means metamorphs, and that refers to the change of form or transformation of form. This is a process in which the texture, original composition and texture of rocks change. So, this change of original texture and composition of minerals and relative abundance of the minerals are subjected to change over a period of time. There are several factors which result in this change: climatic conditions, major landform changes, extinction of certain species, etc. Metamorphism or the process of changing of the composition and texture of these rocks takes place over a long period of time and in solid state. The igneous and sedimentary rocks can change into metamorphic rocks under great heat and pressure. For example, clay, which is a form of soil, changes into slate under high pressure and becomes a solid form, which is a metamorphic rock. Limestone converts into marble, which is also a stone. Now, what are the features of metamorphic rocks? They are found abundantly on our planet. Naming of these rocks is done on the basis of their texture and abundance of materials, the composition of minerals that they are formed of. New minerals and new textures can be observed in metamorphic rocks. They are hard with specific gravity, having no empty space. There are no bubble holes in these rocks. These rocks may again change into sedimentary or igneous rocks if the conditions are reversed. And one specific feature of this rock or metamorphic rocks is that they are very rich in fossils. As you see here, the layers of different rocks are there, and fossils, the dead and decaying plants and animals, are found. Now, let's study what are fossils. The remains of dead plants, animals trapped in the layers of rocks are called as fossils. Now, these then turn into rocky material and minerals. Rocks are the building blocks of oceanic and continental crust where the life exists, which is very useful for us. We use stones in a lot of games in our day-to-day lives, don't we? Such as 7 stones, hopscotch, etc. Now, can you collect pictures of different monuments which are made from stones, such as the Red Fort? It is made from red sandstone. Taj Mahal is made from white marble. Now, let's talk about rock cycle. How does a rock changes its form, or how are rocks formed? You know that one type of rock can be changed into another type of rock under certain conditions, and this happens in a cyclic manner. They do not change overnight, but rather it takes a very long period of time to make them change their state. This process of transformation from one rock to another rock is known as rock cycle. We have already learnt that when molten magma cools, it solidifies and becomes igneous rocks. These igneous rocks may be broken into different sediments, and these sediments may form layers of sedimentary rocks. When the igneous and sedimentary rocks are subjected to heat and pressure, they change into metamorphic rocks. The metamorphic rocks, which are still under great heat and pressure, may melt down to the form of molten magma again, and then this magma again can cool down and form igneous rocks. So, do you see there is a cycle going on as to how different rocks are formed. Rocks are made up of different materials which are known as minerals, and minerals are naturally occurring in our environment, and they have a specific physical nature and chemical composition, because minerals are made from chemicals and they are very important to humankind. Some of these minerals are used as fuels, for example coal, natural gas, petroleum, etc. Some minerals are also used by industries in order to make goods and products such as iron, aluminium, gold, titanium, uranium, etc. What have we learnt in this chapter so far? We learnt about the inside of the earth. What are the different layers of earth? The crust, lithosphere, the mantle, the outer core and the inner core. We also learnt that all these layers consist of specific rocky material or chemical composition and minerals. We learnt about different types of rocks such as igneous rocks, sedimentary rocks and metamorphic rocks, and what is rock cycle. So, I hope you understood everything in this chapter. Thank you.